show. Is it a sandwich? If I called a hot dog a sandwich, do you think that you'd be fine with it? If not, then why? Let's bust this wide. Mary, Carrie, Kelly, Matt, oh my, is it a sandwich? Well, let's decide.
We all get caught up in the chaos of life. The last few years in particular have been pretty tough. So let's take a page from Late Night Santa Claus, David Letterman. Let's stop for a moment and admire the rotating pies. On Order Up.
A Letterman reference.
Love it.
I miss him. And we miss you, listeners. It's only been one episode, but we've just been wondering how you're doing. We hope you're okay. You look great today, by the way. Carrie Haim is still out in the field. Now that we know that cheddar on pie is a British thing, she's in a boat right now over to England to kick some butt, is what Carrie's doing. She'll be back for our next episode. Mary and Matt, did you have apple pie dreams after the last episode? Dreamed of cake?
Yeah.
Grace made cake sound pretty sexy.
Yeah.
The secret to apple pie is, and the Irish will come in this situation, is loads of butter. So the butter to apple ratio needs to be pretty equal.
Yes.
And it has to be a homemade crust. It cannot be one of those imposters from the freezer section. It must be homemade. And don't put lattice right on top of it and then give me a graham cracker crust because I'll get angry. So like the Hulk, I will get angry. But yes, no, for me, it's all about the butter. And here's a secret, friends, because the Irish did not have much in their food palette. I got to be honest. Although I like me a good shepherd's pie. When I'm conscious of carbs and I want to remove the crust, the apple filling has to taste as good without the crust as it does with the crust. So if it doesn't, that's a fail. So.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I think the secret of life is butter. If I'm going to be put to task, I do believe that. But I agree with you there, Mary. When I next see you, I've recently learned how to make a Dutch apple pie, which is like hot pie filling on a cookie. That's kind of the vibe. So good.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. How are you feeling, Matt, about apples and cheddar and cake?
Good. I've been trying to find pie places on Uber Eats. It's a problem. It's a problem I have. It's specifically pie. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah. And that again, the secret of life. It's just pie and butter. Pie and butter.
I have a question for Matt.
Please.
Okay, here's a question, and it's from my husband. My husband actually got just a bag of pies, little mini pies from our local grocery store. Like I came out after, I think, doing another episode of this show, and there's like a stack of pies. He's like, would you like a personal pie? I go, no, I'm good. I don't understand. Something's going on with the husband. But do you like the McDonald's apple pie?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to like it more because they used to deep fry it.
Yes.
Yes.
It used to be better.
Matt. Yeah.
They changed it recently so it was less crappy. So there's the old pie good, middle era pie not great, new pie because they put on what's that, the fancy sugar that goes on top of not a confectioner's sugar, but like a big thick chunky granule.
Cane? Yeah, cane sugar?
No, but anyway,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like, it starts with a D. It's a
I can see it. Oh, good grief. This is just going to be 5 minutes of Kelly moaning. What is that? I want to say Dimfelmeyer, but that's a Canadian bread company. And that's
We'll figure it out. But they started putting that on it, so you get that. But honestly, it's still a lesser pie. It gets you through. I like it, but it's not like pie.
It's not like back in the day when that pie that was filled with pie lava is what it was. Your mouth burnt That
Yeah.
was the best. That was the best.
I think the entire coffee lawsuit made them realize we got to like cool everything down by like 200 degrees.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, friends, Google that. There's a bit of a story behind the woman and the lawsuit. It's kind of wild, but give it a Google. And Matt, I'm assuming you have given some tasty facts a Google because we're going to start off with some fun food facts. So what do you got for us today?
Well, the noughties were the time of the cupcake in the early 2000s. It was everywhere. We had cupcake shops popping up left and right. A lot of them went bankrupt, like Prairie Girl here in Toronto, unfortunately, in the last few years. Snack food and wholesale bakery, a publication, a snack food and wholesale industry baking trade magazine, which I'll be honest, I'm frankly amazed is a thing. They indicated that 669.4 million cupcakes were sold from October of 2010 to October of 2011.
Wow.
That's just 1 year. And they had folks were lining up around the block for the most famous of cupcake places, Magnolia's Bakery in New York, thanks to it being part of the fifth character of the smash hit Sex and the City, and where the girls got their cupcake fix. According to Steve Abrams, co-owner of Magnolia, cupcake culture has been iconic in the U.S. for 100 years. Cupcakes make up 50% of Magnolia's $20 million a year sales. Wow. And it's working its way into pop culture, even in comedy with Lonely Island's Lazy Sunday. Because I know when I'm watching the Chronicles of Narnia, I need cupcakes in my tummy wump. That said, it's an American invention. The first description of a cupcake goes back to our gal Amelia Simmons and the first American cookbook, American Cookery, from 1796, that we also found that apple pie recipe in. It's described as a light cake baked in small cups. Did not get its official nom de guerre until Eliza Leslie's 1828 cookbook, 75 Receipts for Pastry, Cakes, and Sweetmeats. So it was around for a while first, before it got its name.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, the baking of yummy treats are pretty standard. You have your bowl, your spoon, your whisk, or if you're fancy Nancy like me, a KitchenAid stand mixer. Now,
Me too.
Yeah. Now, the bowl and the spoon are pretty old school. We've had those since we were, baking cakes on fires in caves. But the whisk has had an interesting journey. People in the 1600s used bundles of twigs to whisk eggs, or in a pinch, they would squeeze them through a sponge.
What?
They'd get a sea sponge, push it through, and that was how they would whisk their eggs.
What?
Yeah, no.
That's a salmonella fiesta. Jeez.
Yeah. Now, often the beating with the sticks was done with birch rods, because what's good for a spanking is good for your eggs.
Was that their tagline?
Yes, yeah. The Victorians, I don't know, they decided to shake things up, or at least they got tired of picking, pieces of wood out of their light cakes. But they created the modern whisk made of metal. But then our girl Julia Child, she got us all hooked on the most popular design of whisk, the balloon whisk. Which was constructed but with flexible wires and popularized in the 1960s. So now, as this was going on, we also had for those of us who are lazy, machines to do our hard work for us. So we were following mixing technology with great interest. The rotating mixer was patented in 1856 by Ralph Collier, and subsequently a similar device was patented in England in 1857. We didn't have to wait long to get our arms totally loose and weak because Rufus Eastman, brother of George Eastman, the guy who owned Kodak.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He invented the first electric mixer. Yeah, so he invented that in the late 1800s, and Herbert Johnson, an engineer at Hobart Manufacturing, created the first electric stand mixer in 1908. Hobart, a leader in developing kitchen technology, also known as KitchenAid, made the first model H5 standing Hobart 5 for the U.S. Armed Forces. And by the early 1900s, it was standard in every U.S. military vessel. They realized they had a good thing on their hands, and in 1919, they were like, hey, maybe we should sell this to people other than the U.S. military. And they did. And so we started getting public stand mixers in 1919. 1937, we got the Model K with the secured bowl, and it has pretty much not changed since. So yeah, we can thank the U.S. military for super glue, the internet, and the stand mixer.
Wow. Thanks, U.S. military. Thank you. I got to say, I've had my KitchenAid. I'm not embarrassed to say how old I am. I'm 46. I've had my KitchenAid since I was 16.
Yep.
It is the longest relationship I have been in.
It's one of those few things that can be
in a relationship with your mixer. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those few things that can be intergenerational. Like a lot of people hand down their stand mixers. Like they're just built to last. Like it's unchanged since 1937. They had to put in plastic bits so it would break. Like, that's a big controversy with KitchenAid in the last few years.
I love that.
Crap, we made this crap too good. We got to put in
break it.
Bits. Yeah.
Well, those are some good facts, Matt. Yeah. And we have a good episode for you today, friends. It is time for episode number 5 of season 9 of Order Up.
Kelly, who is our guest today?
Yeah, so our guest today is a friend that I made during the height of the pandemic. With everyone here on this show, I met during lockdown. So there were some lemons in that weird time. He is a comedian based out of LA who's performed all over the United States and parts of Canada. He's got to definitely come to Toronto sometime soon. You may have seen him on NBC's Last Comic Standing, catched him on VH1 or BuzzFeed. He's got a TED Talk, which is pretty great. And I love this. He holds a master's degree in fine arts in comedy theory, which is very fancy pants. He's also a brand new dad and a really great guy. Please give it up for Erik Escobar. Yay!
Very fancy pants. My wallet is not fancy when you have a degree in comedy theory. My pants are the fanciest. Also, shout out to what a great intro of the episode. Not my favorite, but it is in my top 10. Been holding on to that for 15 minutes. Been just in the pocket. I love it.
Oh, we are so glad to have you here, Erik. Just before we get to the questions, I'm going to throw it to Mary to ask you our 5 questions. What is new dad life like? Are you snacking on anything to keep yourself awake? Do you have some snack go-tos right now with the little one?
You know what? We were talking about the McDonald's pie earlier. And before we had the deep fried, you had the fancy sugar. Now it's more of the baked. I would like to throw out there to anyone listening, if you have a hankering for a McDonald's pie, if you want to level it up just a little bit, have you guys ever heard of Jollibee?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh. Jollibee's got a mango pie that is the deep fry. It's the McDonald's pie, but just Filipino. I'm half Filipino, so I'm showing some love. So what I would like to do is that once every, couple days when I have a free 10 minutes of breathing room, I will drive to Jollibee 5 minutes away and I will treat myself to a mango pie. So it all comes in. But few and fewer pie runs these days with a little boy in my life. I love him so much. It's great. I'm eating all the snacks. I'm gaining all the weight. I'm so happy. I'm so tired. I'm so stressed. Oh man, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. We are happy to have you. Jollibee is a vibe. That place is fantastic. You're getting your mango pies, you're getting a burger, you're getting spaghetti, and yet it all goes together.
It works. There's a reason why all of my family in the Philippines loves to eat and loves food. There's also a reason why they all live to 60. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. Yeah, pick your options. Shoot your shot. Not every day.
I love it. Well, we are going to hand you over to Mary, who's going to ask you 5 newborn questions.
Yes.
Fresh as a baby.
And I understand where you are. My kids now are 16 and 18. You will get through this, but you still will taste their food first to make it sure it's cool enough, but it's because you're hungry and you have nothing left. So just let you know, it's fine when they're 18 that you're blowing on their macaroni and cheese, because you have to make sure it's good for them. Okay, here's some really interesting questions. It will, like we always say, you're going to want to eat something after the show. You're probably going to take a run to whatever Jollibee or whatever it's called. Do you have a savory or a sweet tooth?
I have an addictive tooth. I feel like I'm a big savory guy. I like meat pies. I like things like that. But honestly, when I get on a sweet kick, I can't stop. You know what I mean? You give me a bag of candy, I'm snacking that the whole way through. Give me some chocolate all the way. So I'm both. The answer is both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it.
A popular answer this season.
Yeah. Chocolate pretzels are my undoing. They are. When cutting cake, do you take the centerpiece or a corner piece or whatever is left?
Ooh, whatever is left, I like to hold grace and make sure those around me celebrating also get their ideal pieces of cake. But if there is some extra delicious frosting on there, give me an end piece, all right? If you got if there's something going on in the corner, I'll try to sneak my way in and maybe get one of those early.
Love it. Yeah.
Love it. End piece are great.
And you're very fair. Wait until you have a second kid. You won't be fair. It's every person for themselves. I've run many a kid over for that last piece of cake. Why is cheesecake not cake, yet it is not called a pie? Any ideas?
I actually have a theory on this. This theory is not sound, but a theory nonetheless. I feel like when my partner and I got married, when we got engaged, her cousins gave us a Japanese cheesecake. I don't know if you have these Japanese.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice, very fun, very light, very flowy, very fluffy, very much in the cake world. I feel like when you look at a traditional cake or a traditional cheesecake, you might be like, there is some pie-ness to it. But after having that light, fluffy version of what a cheesecake can be, I'm like, no, this is fully in the cake category.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
It's not like dense. It's like, ooh, clouds in my mouth, sweet clouds.
Definitely. There's a place in Toronto, Uncle
Tetso's.
And when they opened, there were lines and they only let you buy one. You're only allowed to buy one. I found a spot at Toronto's Union Station where the train station is, where they had a little pop-up, and I was able to get a bite of it. And it's like a cloud.
Up there in Canada, y'all are good with your sweets. Y'all are great.
Yeah.
I was just shooting a thing in Canada, in Toronto actually. First time I had a Mr. Big. Oh, what a candy bar!
The best candy bar. Oh,
it's the best. Mr. Big.
It's so good.
You have your Donair pizza. Donair.
Yes, Donair. That's an East Coast thing. Yeah.
It feels like a dessert, but it's a delicious, savory treat. I'm very impressed with Canadian sugar things. And I feel like when Canada does a Japanese cheesecake, sign me up. I want to, but I'll just make one. It's all for me. You guys can have your mango pies, kids.
I mean, not to brag as a Torontonian, but we are one of the most diverse food cities in the world, and in fact considered like more food diverse than even New York in a lot of food publications, just because we have such a varied population with like little Japan, little Korea, little India, all these different ethnic communities, and they bring their own spins on different foods. So we get these really, really awesome combinations that pop up.
Apparently, like the East End, where the singer The Weeknd is from, Scarborough, Mary and Eric, when you're next here, apparently Scarborough has an even better food scene than like Toronto does. So it just, there's some good eats here. There's some good eats.
What blows my mind about Toronto is I have IBS, not trying to brag.
Me too, Eric.
Because of that, my tummy is so like weird about certain stuff, but I don't know if it's the Canadian food standards or just the respect that Torontonians put into their food. I could eat like Indian food at 2 a.m. I could eat greasy pizza at night. Everything I ate in Toronto was not only delicious, but like didn't make my tummy feel weird. And I'm like, if I lived in Canada, I would be a maniac because I would and pizza and Chinese food and Indian food. Just, put it all in me because I would like. I'm gonna be okay out here. God bless Canada.
Yeah, amazing.
A plus, unintended.
Well, in Greek town we went to, and we had Greek food before I had a show, and I rarely eat before a show, but I did this time, and it was delish. So
it's insane. You guys can make an egg. You guys can do a scrambled egg, and it's like the best scrambled egg I ever had up there. Everything up there is just class. Oh, I love it.
Because people are nicer in Canada. But anyway, sorry. So here's the big question. This gets our guests. So really think about this one. Would you eat a pie cakein, which is pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and spice cake with cinnamon buttercream between each layer, and on the outer layer, an oat crumble. On the outer layer, an oat crumble.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Hands down, yeah. No, I would prefer maybe a butter queen instead of a butter queen. So when you were describing it, one thing that I was envisioning and mouth feeling is you said pecan, which is a nice textural texture. And I'm like, there's no other crunch. Where's the other crunch in this? But then you got me with the oat crumble on top. And I think that's like might be the secret. The spice cake, take it or leave it, but part of the thing. All right, that's okay. This feels like something beautiful to put in my mouth hole during the fall. All right, this is the weather's got to be right. You need your little cup of pumpkin spice latte or a nice like orange spice tea. Something kind of very festive and holidaysical. Sounds very pie-caken. So yes, I'd eat it. I feel like it would be a strategic timed move.
Yeah, definitely. And listeners, you can't see Eric's face, but he lit up when Mary was describing the pie cakein. He looked so happy.
Very happy. I wouldn't want to have this like next to the pool during the summer. You know what I mean? Like I feel it's a big heavy thing, but a nice winter night. Let's do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Or needing some serious comfort food. Should a set not go well? I feel like a pie cakein would be there for you, much like the Friends theme song. Yeah, which I think is about pie cakein. I think that song, I'll Be There For You, is about pie cakein.
Oh, man. That pie cakein, an episode of Friends, a cup of coffee, and a whole bottle of Lactaid. Sign me up.
Well, and the pie cakein is a good replacement for sex. You don't need to have sex. No, there's no. Yeah. This is a menopausal woman's dream.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. It's the new official food of menopausal women across North America. Okay. Anyway, here's the last question. Okay, here's the last question. Are you team pie, team cake, or neither or neither, as we say in Boston?
Tough question. A lot of my answers have been very politically sound. You know what I mean? I'm kind of on the line, on the fence. I don't like causing problems, but I will say I am Team Pie asterisk. Asterisk.
Okay. All right.
Unless you put me in a room, Canada, I love you, but I don't know if you guys have a ton of this. If you put me in a room with tres leches cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It could be the best pie in the whole world. I'm taking a bad tres leches over a good
delicious.
pie.
Okay.
That's
right.
my hook. That's my little
Explain tres leches, though, because not everybody knows what
that is a good replacement for sex.
Yeah.
It is just as
Yes.
creamy, just as well. Very similar, not as chunky. Well, I don't know. We all have our typical things. I love it. You take a corner piece, take a middle piece. It's all delicious. A tres leches cake is a cake. Tres leches, I believe, is 3 milks. I think it's evaporated, condensed, and maybe just regular. But it is a cake that is so soaked in delicious, milky, lactosey goodness that I don't even know how to explain the texture. It's not an ice cream. It's not a pudding.
Yeah.
It is a cake. It's for sure a cake, but just something about this, like, it's like making horchata, which I guess I also have to explain, like into like a beautiful package. It's just, it's magical. And you need 8 bottles of Lactaid, but it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you do need to eat like 6 Lactaid before you eat it, 3 afterwards, and then maybe an Imodium. Possible.
Yeah. Off work afterwards, and hopefully you're single, because you will be. Half a sheet of that, you will be single if you're not already. Yeah.
All right. So your vote is pie, but
Team Pie. But if a tres leches in the room, I'm no longer a loyal subject.
that is fair. With Eric's answer-ish, Team Pie is back in the lead. Everyone, Team Pie is back in the lead with Eric's answer just by 1, and 1 really half a point in the lead given the tres leches.
Just like this category, be like pie, cake, neither tres leches. Oh!
Well, Mary picked her on the last episode. Mary just broke away from the pack and has picked her own camp of tart.
Whoa!
So, yeah.
If we're doing that, let's bring in some scones, baby.
Eric,
it depends on the vibe.
as an Irish American, an Irish scone is the driest potato-looking bread item in the world. You literally have to microwave it for 10 minutes, then put butter between each layer. Scones in the UK are much better, as in Toronto, but
Yeah.
You even it out with a tres leches cake. You eat a scone with tres leches. Equal.
I kind of feel like scone, tres leches, and pie caken are all the foods of menopausal women, depending on which stage you're at.
True.
I'm being so gross here. I don't know if we can do it, but if you're eating a scone, it's because your vagina is dry. That's all I'm going to say.
So I'm a menopausal woman then? Basically, all things that I love.
I call my downstairs Desert Storm. Scone me up, baby. Scone me up. Ooh, delicious.
Yeah, if you're eating a lot of scones, you're in the vaginal dryness zone. It's very upsetting, and it comes from out of nowhere. Like, I need to bathe myself in tres leches.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry. Sorry,
we're learning so much, friends.
The spectrum of dry to wetness in our baked goods. We're really covering the whole gamut from the scone.
A tres leches cake is a woman in her 20s taking on men, dating, having the time of her life, maybe going to Europe for a spot. And a scone is a woman in her 50s
Oh my
in a
God.
long-term marriage with 2 kids that are almost leaving the nest and will be alone and very dry.
Okay, so to put this in pop culture references, then
Oh my gosh.
leches is Eat, Pray, Love,
Yes.
and then a scone is Shirley Valentine.
There it is.
Yes.
You got it.
Yeah.
If you're in your 30s, you're allowed to have like a turnover now and again.
If you're wondering if you're a lesbian, you'll have a turnover. I've had all of these. I was tres leches, then a turnover, then I decided to stay with my husband, and now I'm a scone. Just
Love
a
it.
very
Amazing.
Pop in a
And
chair.
then Stella got her groove back somehow. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore, friends.
We're talking about the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pies. There we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
The metaphor is
That
lost.
will be our
I'm
bakery.
hungry.
Erik, where can friends find you online to either buy you a slice of cake or come see you tell jokes?
Definitely check out all my stuff on my Instagram. I post all the time there. My Instagram is at Erik Escobar. That is Erik with a K. I do have the newborn. I'm taking a lot of time off the road, but I'm popping my head into some areas this coming year. I'll be in Vegas. I'll be in Arizona, doing a little run in Oregon this weekend. And actually, in a few months, we'll be up in Canada. Not going to be in Toronto, unfortunately, but I have a couple days there, and I can't wait to eat a donair pizza. And
Oh my gosh.
the beautiful up north.
Yeah. Well, message me and let me know where you are, and I'll come see if I can. See if I
We'll
can.
make it happen. It'll be great.
Indeed, it'll be fun. Everyone, we have one more episode in this season. Will Team Pie stay in the lead? Will the tart category get a new friend? We don't know. Carrie will be back. We'll end it off next time on Order Up.
I'm Team Cake because sugar is way better than fruits.
We're also 14-year-olds, by the way, so...
Order Up is hosted and produced by Matt Ardill,
Mary Kennedy,
Larry Hain,
Kelly Zemeckis.
and original music is by Rebecca McDonald.